at our first one live. We're here with Brandon, talk scales, and of course, Dan and Paul, cool guy, Deschamps.
Yeah, it's a good get over there.
So tonight we're going to be talking scale making with Brandon. We're going to talk a little bit of vapes for the last 10 minutes of the show. And we talk a few things. So I'm going to hand it over to Brandon to do gear dump.
Okay, so today I got the Riat Lambert Crossroads, carbon fiber, custom clip, all that good stuff. I got Grismo Saga pen.
Hey.
One of my favorites now. And then on the wrist today, got a Michael Kors chronograph. Nothing too elaborate. And purple Olight i5T.
I like the splash of color in the gear.
Yeah,
you took a photo the other day that was all gray and stuff, and that light freaking popped. I loved it.
Oh, it's normally my old lights are colorful.
Yeah, I love the purple in it, buddy.
I fill you up for a pocket dump, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, this week, I was carrying the Civivi tool again. And that's pretty much all is my pocket this week. So basically, Ontario, we're in a lockdown right now, so it did get a lot of use. Hand it off to somebody to use it. He loved it. Didn't know it was a Chinese-made knife. Excellent knife. I'm a favorite so far. So I think Dan is up, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure. So today I was carrying my Boker Wartoad friction folder. These guys are hard to find nowadays. I did the anodization myself on the clip and the backspacer. And then as a part of our sub 100 challenge, I was also carrying in my fifth pocket the Wraith. So Ontario Knife Wraith. What was it? How much does this cost, Paul? 35?
35.
$35. Very kind of shocked with it. Super nice, light, non-aggressive. It's got a nice little recurve to it. And if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, and that shit happens, the only place I can find the ice is S&R knives.
Yeah. So
always good to check that out. And then as just another carry, just to throw in my pocket, I was carrying the Spartan Knives Nymph. This is a Blade Show exclusive with a little bit of anodization. It's got like little AR-15s and skulls on it. It's technically a little slip joint. It's not a flipper. I know it kind of looks like it's supposed to be a flipper. Apologize to anybody else. I'm having problems with this mirroring thing. I think I'm moving right and I'm not. But that's what's in my pocket. Paul, you're up, buddy.
Yeah, so I tend to post it on the page a couple times in a week what my carry is there, and I was rocking that QSP Penguin Hard. It is so friggin' nice. So mine I think I'm going to transition to my last official for the challenge carry, which I'm going to give it to the old Civivi Elementum. Tried and true, this boy's going to be with me. I've had one before, so I know what I'm in for. And I think it's going to be a fun week to end the challenge.
So I guess now we're going off to Brandon to start talking about the process of making scales, I guess is what we're doing. So Brandon.
Well, Brandon, why don't you just do an intro yourself, where you're from, what you do, how you got into this stuff, and then you can talk about kind of the specialty that you bring to the group.
For sure. So my name's Brandon. I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan. I'm an electrician by trade. So journeyman electrician, 25 years old. So just kind of getting into knives the last 2-3 years probably. Mainly my dad started getting into it. I thought it was funny, made fun of him. Then he showed me some cool shit, and now, well, I'm here.
So we blame your dad?
Yeah, I pretty much blame him for most things. So yeah, that kind of wasn't too big into knives until probably 2017, I think it was. He had a ZT 0801, I think it was. This guy here. So he had one of these, and he had it anodized, a purplish color. And then once I saw that and was explained how anodization works, that's what really started getting me into knives. So it was kind of from that point on, it was finding things made of titanium so I could do it myself. This guy here.
Oh, nice.
So it kind of started off simple stuff like this. Just anodizing, finding knives to anodize. Did that for a while. And then found acid etching. Did some of that. Like doing little logos and the like.
Mm-hmm. I love those. You did good on those.
Thank you. Done a few. I think Hamish has a few now of my Star Wars etches.
Yeah.
And then from there, I got into Spider Coast from there. And once you get into those, you kind of need the matching ones. So I had a red M390. I'm looking for the handles, and I don't know where they are. So I had a red M390 para 3 and a blue Paramilitary 2. And the blue Paramilitary 2 I wasn't a big fan of, so I needed scales for it. So I bought some red G10, grabbed my Dremel, and made this. And it doesn't do fuck all. It's garbage. And then I tried again and again, got nowhere. And then so went from there. I decided I want to make my scales and I want them to fit and work. So I figured out how to do battle finish on titanium. No, I haven't done any. Like I've done a few things with titanium, but that was kind of a I can't afford it kind of project because those knives aren't cheap. So
we could always send you one to try if you want to try doing a dark battle finish. I got enough titanium to send you.
Might need to.
All right, sounds good. Gear Mantra. I'm going to send Brandon a knife. You can find him on the. It's Parminder.
Oh, Parminder.
Oh,
Parminder. I'll send Brandon a knife. He'll try to do the battle finish, and then you guys can talk afterwards.
Perfect. So yeah, once I realized I can't use a Dremel for shit, I got to the YouTubes and the Googles, and I figured out CNC machines. Got into that. Did a lot of research on CAD and CAM designing, and pretty much in the last year, I taught myself from scratch how to use programs like Fusion 360 and the like to recreate the scales in a program into a 3D model. And then I had to teach myself how to create all the tool pathing so that the CNC would cut what I wanted it to. And then I went to Amazon, bought a cheap-ass CNC machine that can cut wood in micarta, and trial and error, here I am. I'm able to make things a little more usable, complete. Got another one here. We did. So yeah, it's just pretty much I wanted to make my own things, customize it, make it my own, and had to figure out a way to do it, and that's what I did.
Good.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think that's a good little segue too. Like that's one of the things that I've been collecting for a long time, and one of the things that started happening was even with production knives or mid-tech knives, whatever you want to call them, people started doing little tweaks to make them their own. So anodization. Brandon, when you showed that little the acid etch on the blade and you're talking about Hamish, I know exactly what you're talking about because I think I had one with some sort of Star Wars logo, and he was like, "Yeah, that's mine," and he took it and left. But it's cool. It's cool because it's something that's production, and a lot of people might have it, but now your production, is simply just a little bit of a one-off, and that's kind of cool. So I know, Brandon, you're using TerraTough. You want to give a little rundown of kind of like what it looks like? So I think Phil can probably make you big screen, but benefits, the looks, the feel, the texture. I've never held it in hand, so I don't know if it's, I don't know anything about it, to be honest with you.
It's pretty much, it's the same as a normal micarta. They use a different resin that's healthier to use, stuff like that, so it doesn't affect adversely on your body as bad. So I think a lot of makers are starting to move towards it just because of simple health benefits and why put yourself at risk for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has probably the best texture I've ever felt on a micarta. Like, I have other linens and whatever. Like, I got stuff like this where it's layered and it's still smooth. It's got no texture feel really. Whereas like this, I rub my thumb across it and it feels like jeans.
Yeah.
So there's a few different, like, they have some really cool color options. Like, this is the maroon.
When you
this
drop
one,
that gray one that you're holding, that gray one I love.
yeah. So this would have been the first set that I like successfully made. Would be this gray set here on this pair of 3.
Beauty.
And that was probably only back in like September.
Wow.
So, yeah, the gray's really cool. I've done, this one's garbage, but blue, I really like the look of. Looks wicked. I think I sold a couple to some guys with some DLC blades, and it looks unreal. With
That would set it off for sure. DLC hardware and blade. Oh, yeah.
Working Paul like this. I'm working on 5 scales. So this is yellow TerraTough. This set doesn't work because it's got no lock capability.
Yeah.
Just fucked. So I'm a little off on some of my hole placements.
That happens, man. Trust me, I burnt through enough scales when I used to do it.
Yeah.
You put it, and the shitty part is you don't notice it till you put it together.
Yeah.
I mean, once you do it and you're staring at it, it looks good to go, and then you put it together and you're like, why is this liner lock no longer working? Or it's crushing because as you do it, you're like,
you love it.
And you throw the scales away. Unlike Brandon, I wasn't smart. I used to do everything by hand. Then you start again, right? So
yeah, it's definitely like even things like when I make them, like you're thinking like, okay, I got to be within like a millimeter of whatever. Well, actually, I had a set of scales fail because the liner didn't fit.
Yep.
And I had to make an adjustment of 0.3 millimeters, I think it was. And like that was, so you look at it, it finishes milling. You're like, oh, we're money. Like these are gold. You go to put them on and your liner's sticking out a little bit in one little spot. And you're like, what? I don't get what's going on.
At least you're doing it with a machine. Like at least you can figure it out. My way was take the sandpaper out, sand it, put it back together, try again, take it apart, sandpaper.
Yeah. Like I did do those with those in the end, but it was before I can make an adjustment to them with sandpaper, I've got to go into the programming, make sure everything's right.
Right. Huh. So you're seeing yourself sticking with the TerraTough right now. Are you planning on starting to get into G10 or carbon fiber or anything else?
So I do have some G10. I've done some G10, like Jade G10, XM18.
Oh, okay. It was G10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've got
some
guys.
Some guys asking a question about Black Tusk knives. Off topic, they say designed in Canada. Designed in Canada, all the parts are made in China, brought over, and I think they're assembled in Burnaby, BC. So make up whatever you will of that. I have yet to play with one. Maybe I'll go pick one up. But sorry, Brandon, back to your Python awesome looking scales, which you'll
Back to
set
your
aside.
Python, buddy. 24-inch Python.
Yeah. Remind me of that. These are sick.
They're pretty. That's gonna make some nice scales.
How when you're cutting, what do the edges look like? Are the edges layered in the same pattern? Like, is it like when you see a Damascus grain? Like, how does the edge look? Just curious. Oh shit, yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah,
You can like see how they wave
Yeah.
it to give it
Yeah.
those.
That is cool.
I like that. Because I always
Yeah.
wonder, because I want to see what the edge looks like on a scale too, right? If the scale edge doesn't look that great, or it's just black sometimes, I don't see the pattern.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still nice, but it's nice to see a pattern, right?
I don't know if you can see the red and black on that.
It's a little difficult.
That's a hard one to pick up.
I saw it in the Python. Easily.
Yeah. And then I've got some pink G10 because everybody loves pink.
Yeah.
And then from there, this order I placed, it was the first order I did was a lot of G10, or not G10, Taro Tough. This one I brought in, I think a lot of people don't know what Taro Tough is and they're a little scared of it still. So I brought in your more basic materials, your bleached linen, micartas, black linen, burlap.
So, yeah, you're going to be able to end up doing this even with resins and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's the name of that one? Curlin or
Kyanite.
Yeah, that's the one.
The thing with carbon fibers and the resins, so I can get sheets of this for $20, $30, right? The Taro Tough's a little more, like $50. But once we're talking carbon fibers and those resin, for one blank, it's like $50 US to make one knife set. So that's I'm not prepared to try and waste $50 worth of material every
come on, Brandon. You can screw up a couple of those.
Not yet. Not yet.
Don't worry, Brandon. Just make filler tabs out of the material.
That's right.
But yeah, so there are definitely I want to get into those materials, but it's not quite time.
Right.
Yes, I do want to make my own micarta.
Oh, that would be awesome.
There's a guy on our page, Brandon. You should talk to. His name is Guy Benningfield, and he makes his own micarta. He's a super nice guy, and he makes you could just call him and be like, "I want orange," and he'll make you orange right on the spot. So,
I know there's another guy in town where I live that makes knives. I think it's McLaren knives or something like that. I think he's just getting into it. But he presses his own resin or his own micartas himself too. So we were talking this summer, once the world's maybe a little normal, we'll get together and make some micarta, have a little micarta party.
That'd be awesome.
So just to kind of move, I don't know if you guys can hear me. It says this mic muted. Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Oh, it says it. So obviously, one of the things that you guys are seeing nowadays, and in a lot of production knives, and when companies move out, they'll do sprint runs and whatever, and they're using different handle material because unique handle material makes a knife almost semi-custom, and it changes the look of a knife. And there's guys like Brandon that are out there, and it's really cool that you guys are now helping people create something. Where if you can get a knife that's, let's say, $150, $100, and you want to make it your own, you can reach out, and for a fraction of the price of a custom brand that can kind of help you out, create something unique. Talking about handle materials and whatnot. This is another guy that's on our group, Dwayne Oliver. This is Dwayne Oliver Custom Friction Folder, and an interest. It's hard to show off here, but this is called Lightning Strike Kevlar, and if the light picks it up, which is really hard, you'll see little strands of copper and gold in it.
Yeah, I can get a couple.
Yeah, and it's a great little material, and it really makes it kind of a one-off, right? So that's kind of cool there. The other material I really like is, C-Tech, and this is a Les Voorhees Model 10, and you can see the C-Tech is just an amazing kind of a compound. It's like a resin with a mesh in it, and you can get different styles of it, right? So there's that, and then this is an older SOG. And this was recovered by Christopher Palfy in St. Albert, Alberta. But this is also C-Tech. And you can see that it's just a little bit different than the one I had with the Les Voorhees. But it makes your knife almost custom without having to go full custom. So Brandon, thanks for providing that service to a lot of the guys. Especially in our clubs. I know you're in a lot of the clubs, and for people that are there, reach out to him, get something, ask him something. I mean, he's willing to try. I mean, Parminder wants him to try that weird titanium. Brandon, I'll shoot you out a knife if you want to play with it. Go for it. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? We sand it and re-anodize it.
That's exactly
Sure.
it. What's going to
Right. So I appreciate that. I think we're moving on to another topic. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're getting to that point in the show where we're going to start tapering off. I think we got Brandon's jaw working enough. Now it's time to get those hands working on some scales, buddy. Although you're going to be filling in here with our boy Phil for our next topic of vapes.
Okay. Brandon, you want to start with your history with vapes? I don't mind. It's a little bit newer, last year. So, how long have you been vaping? What's your current setups that you use? The juices you like? Whatnot.
So, been kind of off and on trying to use it to quit cigarettes unsuccessfully. But so far, I've got a Smock Nord, simple setup. It's like 2 pieces. I don't have any buttons really to press except the on button. So it's simple that way. I like it for that. Doesn't leak too much. Stands up. And then for juice, I like grape. Big fan of the grape. So yeah, it's about what I've got.
That's fair enough. I know I started vaping last summer, June, July-ish. Basically, same with Brandon to quit smoking. The 2 units, I have 2 different units. I have the little Vinci Mod Pod 40 watt unit. Yeah, magnets are off on it, but it's pretty good overall. The other one I use for more of the normal stuff is the one I got back in December. I want something a little bigger, a little more battery life. It's the Vupu Drag Mini Refresh with the P&B tanks. Both are good. Both take the same coil, which is a critical thing, is important. The juices I use the Waterbury salt nits from Lost Edith Company, and vape and juice, which I have 4 flavors or 5 flavors, so I switch out from time to time. This one's the Wilderberry. I have a chocolate mint, which is what's in this right now. But yeah. Is there any questions that people are kind of want to learn about the vapes? Like, I'm sure me and Brandon could try to answer your questions here.
Battery safety. Just let them explode eventually. I don't know.
Well, that's actually a key item. Basically, it's like we're talking.
Sorry, I'm unplugging.
Last week, it's that kind of came into play. It's the batteries itself. They're very similar to the flashlight batteries for the older style lights.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry. It was.
Did I catch you off guard there, Paul?
You're such a fucking idiot. God damn you. That was really good.
Yeah,
I didn't expect that. It was. Sorry, that hit me to the right. I'm in the right mood for that one, buddy.
The vaping aspect, I'm sure most people that start vaping is generally to quit smoking. So,
yeah.
And don't want to go too political, but the British actually sell these in hospitals. Completely 180 degrees here, where it's a bit more restricted.
Here's one. Caribou dropping salt nick or freebase. I don't know what that means. You guys tell us.
Freebase is the old traditional school of liquids. It's I can't really explain the science behind it. The salt mix, it's more pure. So you see somebody doing a 3 milligrams per milliliter. That's generally going to be the freebase. You hear like 20s and above, it's going to be Nick salts. Your Juuls or your little pod systems, disposables, they're going to be generally going to be salt mix. Like both mine and Brandon's little guys, his smock and my little Vincy here, they can do it all. They're all in one. It's the sign of the pot and all this. So these are better suited for salt mix, but you can do the freebase out of them no problem. These guys here, you're better off with the freebase. That's just from my experiences. VGPG, that's the vegetable glycerin propylene glycol, I think it is. It's not the antifreeze stuff. You're going to find a lot of that stuff in a lot of other items like vaccines, medicines, lipsticks, and all this stuff. Like, we don't use lipsticks obviously in this show, but well, maybe Paul does. But there is a difference in the nicotine. It's just how it's processed.
What about you, Brandon? Which ones do you use?
Which do I use?
Do you even know? Do you just let the vape explode?
I just go into the store. I'm like, I like grape. He's like, well, these are grape. And I'm like, which one's cheap? And he's like, this one. And I'm like, that one.
Hey,
Works.
fair enough, right? That's what I would do too. Just find a flavor that you can dig, and if you can find the cheapest one, fuck, why not?
Well,
that's great.
Like for the vape juice where I go, these guys here, they're 3 for $20. So 3 of these bottles for $20. So I mean, I get 3 different flavors. I get 3 of the same flavor, or 2 in 1, and it makes it so much easier when it's like that.
Yeah.
They don't. Okay. East Outdoors. No, it's the voltage. It's more so part of it. It's also the resistance. So the salts, you kind of want the higher ohm coil, like a 0.8 and above. You can go a little lower, but it really depends on the nicotine level. There's a lot of great sites on Facebook.
So different. You're talking about different ohms and stuff for nicotine levels.
Yeah, it's the resistance.
Yeah, because the coils need certain resistance to function. So if your coils are 8 ohms, you got to feed it 8 ohms, or else they don't work properly, pretty much.
Yeah, I know terms of ohms and amps and shit. I got a stereo in the car, but I was trying to relate it to. You were saying different nicotine levels required different ohms. That's what I thought I heard. Sorry if I'm.
No, different coils. They have certain levels. I've noticed on the site I get my stuff from. That like a certain coil can actually go. I think I'll pull up something, but it's.
Oh, we got a chime in there.
It's like let's say 0.6. You have a certain range for the Nick salts, generally speaking. More how you use less Nicks. Okay. I'm new to this, so I don't know everything. I'm not the expert on it, so.
Oh, I was curious about Chuckin' Mad Plumes doing sick vape tricks, bro. Just, that's all I really see.
Get the tornado started. I want it to look like Kansas.
That's like your 0.1s, 0.2 ohm coils that are generally doing. Those are generally the freebase guys with their other mods they have. So it's those ones that they're like this but bigger. So it's one of those things. Like Brennan's big grape guys, big grape flavor. I like the berries. I like mint. Some of the sweet ones. I have a cherry one I use. I add a little bit of sweet ice to it. I make a nice one, my own little special one. So mixture. So you can do a lot of that stuff.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what else to ask since I'm not I'm not doing it myself. Like, I'm not trying to get into it or etc. So it's hard for me to, you know.
Dan's having a blast over there. We all know it.
Yeah, I messaged him. He's having fun over there. Yeah, he mentioned earlier that he might be a little quiet, and I am too. But I'm trying to involve myself a bit, hear what you guys got to say, man. It's interesting to hear it from somebody using it. You know, my best friend used a little cigarette style one that was yay long and very thin, and just did a
the Jules views and the My Blues from the States. Yeah, this one here, Eastern Outdoors, it's the Zero Nick on it with a chocolate mint. It's really just something to keep my hands busy sometimes when I'm working on the computer. So, but we are going to be running out, guys. So we're going to wrap this up, and I'd like to say a special thank you to Brandon for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Brandon.
Dan is
in the zone,
and of course, he's in the zone.
I'm not I quit smoking so long ago. The only thing that's got me interested in your conversation in regards to it is the fact that these can blow up at any time. I mean, that makes it that makes it somewhat exciting for me. I'm like, maybe I should grab one and and see what happens. See how long they go.
I'm just assuming the battery will blow at some point.
That's unregulated mods. That's the bigger issues on the ones, because it's just the techno. This is how it is. They're based on the mech mods and all that. They're more prone. So their batteries, they're explosive device no matter what, wherever they are. Your phone batteries have been known to blow up. Computer batteries known to blow up. So it's one of those things.
Everybody knows about O-lights.
Well, that's it. Ron bring that up the other week there when we were talking about them. You know, that's a big known one as well.
Yeah. So you ever gonna pimp out a vape, Brandon?
No.
Make your own cover for one.
Cover.
New mouthpiece out of TerraTuff.
Low plastic and made a stand for my other little one because I hated it like falling over and leaking. So I made a stand. So it just sits there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's cool. Just in case people are wondering, as I was listening, this is a very good fidget toy. This is the Work Sharp Field Sharpener. So 2 different grits of diamond, 2 different grits of ceramic, and then a leather strop. I usually just a little credit card thing is what I use, but man, this thing's addictive. You sit there and strop the crap out of it a little bit, and it picks up pretty good. So for guys that are looking for something fidgety and just want to keep honing your knives like I do, go for it. Shocked.
You can sit there on the leather side and just
This took a very keen edge, Paul.
Yeah, I know.
Very keen. Yeah, with a strop. Like, I mean, like ridiculous.
To go back to Brandon. To go back to Brandon's point about leaking, the Vape Vinci, it's a bottom airflow. So where the coils go in, it does leak quite a bit if you're not careful. It's usually when the coil starts to getting used for a couple weeks or so. That's when it's already the tank gets low. So this is there anything we need to do other than the 1,000-member giveaway, which is coming up soon? It's actually
we got to get those posts in. We got to get those posts in within the next, less than 24 hours. Well,
so a couple things I'll say real quick. Brandon, thanks, man. Appreciate having you on. I've known Brandon, his dad, for a long time. And it's nice to always see guys in Canada making things, because most of our stuff ends up coming from overseas or it comes from the States. So for the guys that are on EDC International and some of the other Blade group that are around, just look him up, Brandon. Super nice guy. He'll respond to you right away. As for the rest of the stuff that we're looking at, the vapes, interesting for sure. I see them all the time. I live in Alberta. I mean, you see them everywhere. It's cool if you guys want to ask questions, even in any of the groups, or just want to PM one of us, let us know. Thank you. This is the first time I've ever seen it with all the chat stuff on the side.
Yeah, it's great. Good
that's
job,
so cool. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for all the comments and stuff. So that's really cool. And thanks for Paul and Philip for putting this together, because I'll be honest, I have no idea how this shit works. I can flip knives, I can sharpen knives, I can stare into flashlights when I shouldn't. but this technical stuff is beyond my capability. So thanks to you two guys, and thanks, Brandon. So I'll let you guys close off here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. We have a couple, like the February challenge is in the works. I'm not going to mention details just yet. We'll wait till next week. Probably mention the podcast next week. And it's going to be a doozy of one. It was actually a Dan inspired challenge that I'm going to be running. So going to be
technically, it wasn't Dan inspired. I will get you the name of. Continue talking, and I'll get you the name of who inspired it.
So it's going to be one of those, and we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. I'm going to be trying to post it with my budget. Let's put it this way: it's going to be a very budget challenge, like our January challenge for the budget EDC. So I'm going to say thank you to Brandon from Saskatchewan, Dan in Alberta, Paul from good old Hamilton, Ontario, and myself and Barry. Thank you.
It was Thomas Vree, by the way, that inspired the challenge.
That's
Thomas Vree.
Thomas Vree. Oh, he's on the page too. Wonderful.
He is correct. Yeah, Thomas Vree inspired it, so not me.
So hopefully we get him on the show, watching the show at least one night. Thank you guys. Have a great night, and we're getting ready for the post show. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great night. Bye.